Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. I've used copper foil for this and today I'm going to be using our silver foil. So the card pieces that you're going to be needing, the card base is Whisper White and it measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8. In centimetres, that's 21 by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.5. Then you need a piece of silver foil, and this measures 4 inches by 5/5 inches, which is 10.25 by 14.25 centimetres. And then you need a piece of our Fancy Frost Specialty Designer Series paper, and I'm using this like starburst design. And that measures 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. You also need a piece of foil, silver foil, which measures, this one is about 4 1/4 inches by 6 inches. It doesn't need to be as big as that, but I just find it's a lot easier to have a piece that's a bit longer than the actual stamp, so that I got something to actually hold on to. So 4 1/4 inches by 6 inches, that is 11 by 15 centimetres. You will also need some scraps of silver foil because the stocking heel and the toe caps to the stockings have been done in plain foil, not the heat embossed. And you will also need some Whisper White for the stocking tops here. Right, so to start with, I'm going to do the embossing on my large piece. The stamp I'm using is the Merry Melody, which is this one here. It's a background stamp, Merry Medley. So what I'm going to do first is put that over there. I'm going to ink this up with VersaMark. Oh, first of all, I've got to go over this with my Embossing Buddy, haven't I? I know some people don't like doing this on foil because it does take some of the shine off, but it does stop the embossing powder stick in places where you don't really want it to stick. And I think particularly with this stamp, I don't think the powder will notice. If it does bother you, I would just go over it with a piece of kitchen towel. Right, okay. So pop this on as straight as possible without moving, and then pop a piece of paper on top so that you can get a good impression onto your silver foil, making sure that you don't move it at all, and also making sure that you get down the centerpiece. It's so easy to concentrate on the outside, forget the middle. Yes, that's the voice of experience talking. Right. There we go. There we go. So I'm going to move this right out of the way. That can go on there, I think. And then I'm going to bring in my white embossing powder, and I'm going to take another sheet of paper, not the same sheet because the other piece will have some VersaMark on it, which means it'll be sticky, and then just sprinkle this all over. Make sure I get a really good covering. Yep, that looks good. Let's just pop this back into the box. Let that stay in there for the time being. I've moved that out of the way. Yes, I don't have anything anywhere that I don't want it to be. Right, when you are heat embossing foil, it's very easy to get it to bubble. I have experimented with it, and even if you do get it to bubble, you can still use it. You probably need to flatten your work down to get it to lay flat, but it works. Again, that is the voice of experience. But the secret of this is, first of all, to make sure that your heat gun is nice and hot before you actually start, and also don't keep your heat gun too still for too long. Okay, so let's see if I can do this without getting it to bubble. This is another advantage of having a piece that's longer than you really need it. I can hold this with my tweezers, and that's going to leave a mark, but it's not going to spoil my work up here. Okay, so I'm going to start my heat gun first, let it heat up for a while, and then I'm going to make a start. Right, I think that's probably about 15 seconds. Right, I think that's okay. Let me just check it. I think that's okay. No, maybe not. Let me just give that a little bit longer. It feels a bit rough and it should feel smooth, but some of it is still feeling quite warm and a bit soft, shall we say. So bear with me for a little bit longer. And obviously it's better to do it in 2 or 3 short bursts rather than going in for the kill and absolutely messing up your work. If you've bubbled it, you'll see something on the back here that tells you it's not quite right. but that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my Big Shot in to do my die cutting. Right. Now I have actually got 3 of the stockings ready because the top bit takes a little bit to dry, but I'm going to go through the whole process so that you can see what is needed to be done. The dies that I'm going to use are from the Christmas stockings thinlits, and what we're going to be using, we're going to have one Noel, that's going to be on that one. We're going to have 3 stockings. We're going to have 3 bows, that one. We're going to have 3, oops, of the, that's for the heel of the stocking, and that's for the toes, but that's going to be done out of the plain foil. And then we're going to have that, which is stocking tops. And now that I've removed the loose bits, I can show you what's on the back of mine. What I've started doing now is die cutting my dies. Whatever's in the packet, I put it, do the die cuts, and then I pop it on the back. Makes it really nice and easy for checking things. Right, so let's start off with the Noel first, and I'm going to put that down the side there with the bar towards the edge, as straight as I can get it, and then I'm going to put one stocking up there. Make sure it doesn't come off the top edge and doesn't come off the side edge there. And I also need one of these from here. I can actually, no, let's come back for that one. Don't want to do an overload here. Right, okay, so that's one stocking. As I say, I'm not going to do them all because I do already have them prepared over there. That's a Noel. See how nice and easily that came out? Pop that back there. And this is one of the bows. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to take some plain foil. We'll have one heel, one toe cap, and on the white we'll take, in fact let's just cut a little piece off there. Then I can get them on nice and easily. So that was all I needed, wasn't it then? As you can see, these bits just pop out so easily. Pop those over there, and this one as well. Right, so that's all the die cutting I need to do. So let's move this out of the way. Now the beauty of the stockings on this card, which I seem to have misplaced, oh no, here it is the tops of the stockings here, I've used our Mica, which is a new product in our Christmas catalogue. It has so much dimension on it. It is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing here. So there's my stocking, my heel and my toes, and the top fluffy bit. And I'm going to be using Tombow. Okay, so I'll do the toe cap first and the heel. Once I pop these on, I just let them sit there. I don't try moving them into position too much because it is glue going onto foil and it is very, very mobile. Okay, so I'm just going to pop it down like that and leave it. I'm going to do the same with this piece as well. As soon as I think it's in the right position, that's it, it stays. Now this one here, I'm going to cover it with Tombow. I don't know whether this would work with fast fuse. I don't see why it shouldn't. But I've only tried it with Tombow. As you know, I love Tombow. There we go. Make sure it's all covered. There we go, that's nice. And then I'll bring in my Mica. This, when you buy this, it's on page 41 in the Christmas catalogue, and it may well be overlooked because it really doesn't stand out or anything there, but you get each of the three colours. Okay, so this is the white, this is the gold, and this is the green. Green's going to be absolutely super on Christmas trees. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do, I've got my stocking tops. I'm just going to dip it in here. If you wanted to, you could press it on with your fingers, but I find that that takes quite enough. Now normally I just leave that to dry, but because this is a video and I want to show you what I do, I'm going to go ahead with it. I'm going to turn it upside down, which isn't a good idea when it's just been glued. Right, and then just glue on the back. Go on, let go. And then pop it on the top. Okay. I hope that's showing the actual dimension because it really is gorgeous. In fact, I'll show you, let me show you this. This is another one that I did, and this is using dazzling diamonds. Okay, you can see the difference. So I have to say that for this particular job, now that we have this, I prefer this. You know, I do love my dazzling diamonds as well, but for this job, I think it has been usurped. Right, okay, so now I'm just going to put this on one side so that it can dry. Now the three that I have already done, true Blue Peter style, there's 1, 2 and 3. Still a little bit sticky, but they're okay to work with. So I'm going to put my card together now. So move those up a little bit. Tombow. Now this bit you can definitely use fast fuse or snail or tearing tape. See where I've been gripping that with my finger. Give that a little bit of attention to make sure it sticks down. And with this Fancy Frost Specialty Designer Series paper, you can use it either way round, either the embossed side or the debossed side. There we go. Now I'm going to do my card this way round. So use my silicone mat and I'll do the Noel first. And that's come out a little bit quick. I'll dab this onto a piece of scrap paper to wipe off the excess. This is because this is a new bottle of Tombow. Right, tweezers. Let's get one of my scrap bits back again. That's it. Now make sure my card's opening up the right way. Now I'm going to put Noel in the centre, about 1/4 of an inch down, and try and get the bar, the shelf, straight as well. But that needs to come down very slightly. That's more like it. There we go. Now I'm going to put my 3 stockings on here and I'm going to glue them straight down to the surface. There's going to be enough dimension on here, I think, with once I've done the bows. Now I'm going to put that one in the centre of the O and E on Noel. I'm sticking it straight down. I'm not putting this here up on the bar, it's just below the bar. Okay, so there's that. And I don't keep these in any particular order either. And now that one, fit it just under the bar. And then I just try and get that line there and that line there sort of parallel. And then we do the last one. And again, try and leave the same sort of gap and keep the lines parallel. I think that looks about right. Now I need to do my bows, and what I tend to do with this is not that one, use my box just to help flatten those while I'm working on my bows. The thing is with foil, it does tend to buckle a certain amount anyway with heat embossing, so it does need to be encouraged to settle down. Right, now I need my glue dots, And what I'm going to do with them is, with my paper piercer, which is here, I'm going to take a glue dot, just roll it into a little ball, and then put it into the centre of the bow, like that. And there we go, there's another one. Oops. Right, that's it. That's a good one. And this one. There we go. Right. Now take each one, and I'm going to adhere this so that my glue dot goes onto my mica here, and it will look as if the bow is actually on the bar. Just use the rounded end to give that a little bit of a push. Do one for that one as well. Give that a little bit of a push. I'm not too worried about a dent in there because I'm going to be putting a rhinestone on top anyway. Okay, so that's that one as well. Oops. And now I'll take 3 of these. I'm going to use the largest size. Just pop that right in the centre. And then the last one. Okay, so that's today's project. Many thanks for joining me today. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope you give this mica a try as well. It really is lovely. Next time I use it, I'm going to be using it for a tree because I really must find out what that looks like. And the other colour I did, I have got a red one here somewhere that I did. What did I do with that? Don't know. Well, that's a shame, isn't it? No, well, I'll be putting a photograph of it on my blog. I've probably taken it into the other room, I think. So there we go. That's today's video. If you have any questions, please either leave a note in the box below or send me an email to janb@janbcards.com. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here, you can either go to my website and you'll find the Shop Now button, or now that I've sussed out how to actually put links in the bottom there now, there is a link below for my shop. It's 24/7 obviously online. If you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, then you'll be notified every time I upload another video, which is normally on Wednesdays and Sundays. Finally, I will be putting all the measurements and the products that I've used here on the screen. If you're watching on a device that doesn't show that, please click in the box below because all the information will be down there. Finally, before you go, just as a reminder, there's just 4 days left in September and just 4 days left to place an order on in my 24/7 online shop and to receive one of these handmade goodies for free. I've been making lots of these for my customers, and if you place an order in September, I'll be sending you one as well, with my pleasure, with my thanks. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.